Peace, family. Big energy. You already know the vibes. If you value God, family, and legacy, you don't want to miss this episode on Shadowwork Sundays, The Human Side of God, with my special guest,
We's the Satellite Kid.
Big Energy. Don't miss it. All right, welcome to Shadowwork Sundays. Y'all already know the vibration. It's all about the heart space, all about elevation, all about emotional intelligence, and as well as we are going from shadow work to light work, we are going into the aspect of abundance, of the prosperous aspects of our life. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all got a story. We all done been through hard times, challenging times, and overcame them times, and became more abundant, more prosperous, more intelligent, more intellectual beings. So today, I'm going to speak with We's the Satellite Kid, and we're going to go down the memory lane of his journey and also see where he's at today. So let's start this episode off with, we are in the segment of the human side of God. So my question to you is like, what does that mean to you?
The human side of God?
Yeah.
To me, that means the relational aspect. So like, for me, it's like, well, when I hear the human side of God, it's like, well, God feels pain, God feels joy, our feelings come from God. So that's basically like in the realm where my mind first takes me immediately.
Oh, that's deep, because that's a very infinite perspective, you know what I'm saying? Which obviously God is infinite. So that's very powerful. So gratitude once again to you for being here with me, you know what I'm saying? Peace to the tribe, gratitude to Source, gratitude, to all our tribe and to our loved ones, and gratitude for this opportunity and the breath in our body. So let's keep it rocking. So we're gonna start with family, which is something that we all can relate to. We all have family, we all have people that we love. Sometimes your closest family, not the people that you actually grew up with or that's your blood and they got the same blood, but some of this family is people that you met along the journey. And became realer people, the realest people that you know what I'm saying, which is how we met. So my first question to you, with me being able to know you for 11 years of your life, of our lifetime, you are someone that overthinks a lot. You know what I'm saying? We all know that, and so my question is, how do you find balance with being able to be a great father, a great husband, an artist, a man of God, all these different things, find balance when there's so many opportunities to overthink life, in the next move. But there's also so many people depending on you.
Yeah. I tell my wife all the time, I have to be the example of actually leading in order for our family to actually see progress. So when it comes down to it, writing stuff down in order, like, hey, I need to do X, Y, Z during the course of the day, it helps me, because like, man, I'll see something on the wall and my mind will go all the way off to another different place, and I'll get distracted and I'll forget what I had to do in the first place. And so, but as we talked last time, like, creatively, it's dope. But
Exactly.
Like, trying to do business and every day, like, you gotta find structure in it. And so just really writing it down. And my iPhone have it's like you can do the bullet points now, so you can write it down.
Exactly.
And you can check them off. And so that helps me. And then, like, as I'm doing that, I have to when a mind gets up, it's like, yo, Peanut, you handle your responsibilities. So did you brush your teeth? Did you put your deodorant on? Did you go to the bathroom? Did you put salt on your tongue before you had your water this morning? Like, that's like literally
holding them accountable.
Yep. So literally, as just the more I do it, the better I get at it.
Sounds like an aspect of leading by example as well. You know what I'm saying? That you're finding strength, and as you're leading by example, it's actually giving you strength to continue to be this example and to find that balance and to not overthink but be more intentional. You know what I'm saying? That's amazing. You know what I'm saying? And I've watched you as a father. You feel me?
Right.
So I knew you before you were a father. And watched the man that you became as a father. You know what I'm saying? So gratitude to you. So let's transition to my next question is, what do you value the most in family or about family?
What do I value? Man, I think it's just the differences. Azalea's more loud than me, way more loud than me. She's more outgoing. If you don't know me, I'm probably not gonna be too goofy, too nothing. I'll make jokes here and there. My daughter's like that. My son is like my wife, and then my youngest is like in the middle. You know what I'm saying? So like, just watching all of them interact and all of us interact, it's like, yo, we gotta like. It's just that's where I learn relationship, and so even learning relationship, and then it's just I think the same thing I value about my wife too is perspective. Like, we have relationship, we have perspective, and so it's like, yo, Dad, why are you doing this? And it's like I gotta question myself, like, yo, why am I doing this? And besides the fact that I just don't want to do it, like, why can't I fix you pancakes every morning? Like, why does water have to be the first thing on your stomach? Like, why is it's fruit instead of bacon and sausage in the morning? Like, and so I have to actually have legit reasons. I actually have to know what I know and stand on it. And just even if it doesn't make sense, and he has a dope perspective, which mine does.
Yeah, for sure.
90% of the time.
For sure.
Yeah, we was talking about whoopings and stuff, and so he relayed the whoopings to the Israelites in Egypt, and so when he said it, it took me back, and it was like, man, it made me think like, yo, like he's seeing this in real time, so it's like, how do I explain to him the difference? And if there is a difference, like how do I communicate it? And if it's no difference at all, like, stop. Like, just stop. If it's just wrong, it's wrong. Like, just stop. And it just holds me accountable to it. So, literally my favorite thing about it, because he's very. That's me to the T. That's me to the T.
No, definitely. I think that's deep. Because you're speaking on value.
Yeah.
But you're speaking on, like, it makes you question and think about, why you can't give this certain, like the things that we basically, you give a lot to what you value.
Yeah.
And the more value you add to it, the more serious you take it. And so as a father, you're like, yo, like, my value is expanding, whatever it is that I need to expand for my family because of what value it brings to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really powerful. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was a loaded answer.
Oh, man, bro.
No, in a good way. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, I didn't expect that. You know what I'm saying? That's what the beauty is. I've been knowing you for 11 years, and these questions I'm pulling from are me knowing you. But you know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna hear a lot of things that I already know, but that's one of those things right there that I didn't expect.
Yeah.
That was a lot of gems. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of growth. You know what I mean? So this is the perfect transition for this question, because we're speaking about value, and so a lot of us don't know what to value, lack value because of our childhoods and things we went through with our parents and things like that. And so my question is what actions are you taking as a father to prevent your children from facing the type of trauma that you faced as a child?
Man, that's a deep question. I think the biggest thing that I do as far as me, like, that I bring to the table, just like, okay, yeah, that's your thing, is understanding. Like, sometimes I really try to understand why my kids do what they do. And so my son, he'll, Dad, Amora, and he'll immediately, his emotions shoot up. And I was trying to think about it. I was like, bro, I don't do that. Like, I do that internally. I don't do it just off initial. Like, if something happens, I don't just immediately go to yelling.
Right.
And so every time he does it, it depends on what he says and how he says it is whether I address it or not. And so if he's like, Amora, you don't do this, and that, I was like, nah, that's not how you talk to your sister. Like, it's like, if she does something you don't like, at some point in time, you have to come to her and be like, yo, Amora, I don't like that. Can you stop? Or try to redirect her in how she should treat you. And so literally that, like, just being there and trying to understand that, because, like, just because my son jumps off the couch doesn't mean he's a bad kid. He's adventurous, and like, stopping him early on, it felt like it hindered him a little bit. So then as I had the other two, I don't stop Amina from jumping off the couch. Like, And even though she may roll an ankle, it's like she doesn't. She's not scared. She's not scared to jump on the slides by herself. She's not like basically scared to take on the world, because it's just like, yo, we left it open. Like I tried to be
fear.
Yeah, I tried to be understanding in everything. So just even like being a kid and like not being scared to dream because nobody has like put out that flame. Like so that's why I try to be understanding. And so essentially like just being that, I feel like that kind of conquers some of the stuff that, or keeps them from being through some of the stuff that I've been through, because legit they want, like, I feel like my whole family expected me to go to college and be this engineer and do all this, you know. I told my grandma I was gonna get a Lamborghini and stuff like that, and so that's what they expect. But when I didn't finish and I just started going artistry and, you know, all this other stuff, it was just kind of a shocker. But
I think the understanding part is deep, because truthfully, growing up, you heard, you know, I'm grown, or I'm your parent, or I'm your mom, I'm your daddy, you know. You kind of got to accept whatever they say with no understanding at all.
Yeah.
And then you get consequences for trying to go find that understanding through your actions and mistakes, and you know. So I think that it's deep that once again we're going back to value. Yeah. Understanding that is bringing value to them, because it's like, you know, those lessons, even the mistakes that you allow them to make, is all presented so that they can come back to you and get understanding. Yeah. You know, and so I think that is beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Once again, another amazing answer. And for those that are watching, for the fathers, mothers, anybody that's watching, I feel like that is a very important aspect of parenting that was missed in a lot of us, especially the 90s babies, I would say. Our parents just didn't listen to what we had to say. And a lot of it got overlooked. Or the things that we didn't understand, we got called crazy, or you doing too much, or whatever the case is. So
I was telling Azalea the other day, like, whenever I was a kid, and I think this is another reason. Amon's inquisitive, and I'm inquisitive. I've always been that way as a kid. So when Amon asked me something, like, unlike we had when we were younger, like, I could just pull it up on my phone and sort through what's right and wrong.
Exactly.
And so whatever he asks, like, he takes it as truth. Like, whatever I say, hey, look, I didn't know that, you know, flies and dragonflies had like 4 stages, you know, before they became what they are. Like, I never knew that. He asked me, I told him, and I'm literally learning with him.
Yeah, that's fire.
Just like, cause even as a kid, it was like, don't smoke, don't drink, don't this, don't that. Like, why?
Exactly.
And so, like, just being able to answer why, and like, even if I don't give him the answer that he desires, it's like he knows why, and then he can also, like, because he's getting older and he's starting to get understanding, it's like, go figure out why. Go figure out why.
Right? He's curious.
Yeah.
So that curiosity is not going nowhere. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if either you're going to feed it or he's going to find a way to feed it. Yeah. You know, so you're once again, it's a protection aspect of parenting. You know what I'm saying? That you're actually providing in that through that action. You know what I'm saying?
That's where scientists are made. That's where discoveries are made, because we was curious, so we trying to go to the moon. We was curious, so it's physics, and you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, you know, this is gonna be another one of them questions that you're gonna say, man, you know, I gotta think about this. I don't know. You know, so I'm gonna start it off by saying there's no one answer to this solution. You know what I'm saying? But if there's one gem that you can give to your children, you know, that they will hold on to, that you feel will be the most effective, what would that be?
One gem?
One major gem.
There's no oh man. I would say, I would say fight for understanding. Like, there's a lot of reasons people do what they do. Like, there's a lot of reasons why. and you can't just know off of 5 seconds of meeting somebody. Somebody cut you off in traffic, and you get upset, and you don't know what's going on. They wife could be pregnant, or they mom could be in the hospital. Like, you don't know what's going on. So like, just having understanding, and you know, not being afraid to be humble. Like, it's understanding or judgment. Have learned good judgment. It's out of those two.
All right, just not to go in too much, but how do you learn good judgment?
The experience, that curiosity, that curiosity. So I guess essentially, as I'm getting older, I'm teaching them good judgment. Like, yo, go try it. You know what I'm saying? Like, go jump off the high dive. Like, figure out whether you like it or not. Like,
and guess what? You know what the biggest judgment is? The biggest good judgment, whatever you can show, is when you say you gonna do something
and do it.
Doing it, bro.
Standing on
your business. See, children, they don't play about that type of stuff. They watching. They watching everything. If you say we going to Chuck E. Cheese 3 weeks from now, bruh, you might not think they even thinking about it. They forgot what. This Friday, 3 weeks later, they like, yo, what's up? Thought we was going to Chuck E. Cheese. Like, we ain't got the money right now. They don't care about it. You supposed to be prepared. Because you told me we was going. You know what I'm saying? So
life be life, and then they just like, yo, I know what you said.
Stand on your word.
Yeah.
You know. So
my Amora was like, yo, Dad, can I sleep in your bed? I was like,
oh, real quick, bro, was that a cough?
No.
Okay. I was like, man, we kind of, you know what I'm saying?
No.
We kind of close, you know?
But nah, so like, we was, I was coming in, I was at home, I was gonna go to work. She was like, why? I was like, well, bills need to be paid, you know, blah, blah, blah. I give her the same answer every time. And I don't change it up at all. And she was like, well, can I sleep in your bed when you get home? I was like, I looked at my wife, I was like, yeah, you can sleep, I'll come get you. And then, so I come home, it's like 1:30 in the morning. I open the door, Dad. And so I gotta look, and she was like, can I go lay with you? And then, you know, I like being, it's just me and my wife in this, you know, in this Olympic-sized bed. And so I was like, all right, cool. And so I pick her up, I got her on my shoulder, and she just lays on me. And it's just like, I just, the comfort of knowing Daddy says something and he's gonna follow through is like everything. Because it's not, because for me, like, my dad said, hey, I'm gonna come see you. I didn't know he had 2 jobs. I didn't know there was 4 or 5 kids and different baby moms. Like, I had no idea that he couldn't fulfill that stuff. But like, being able to be in the household and then say something and then follow through and then give my daughter or my son or my wife that piece of like, it's gonna follow through, like, that means a lot.
Well, on the phone we had a conversation maybe a few days ago, and you know, something that stuck with me, which makes sense of what you just said, which you said that you found your relationship with God through your family, and everything that you have spoke on has been, you know, a man of God, you know, a man that, you know, is walking on a certain path, you know what I'm saying, that is holding a certain level of integrity, a certain level of love, a certain level of there's a requirement.
Yeah.
It's not just like you can just do anything, you know. And I think that a lot of times when we were growing up, we were the things that were put on us, they made us feel devalued.
Yeah.
We didn't feel worthy of a lot of things, so we didn't strive for a lot of things. At some point, they escaped us, you know, until we got grown, and then something happened in life where some people never get that back. But with us, we got it back. You know, we got, you know, those desires, those passions, and some of them we're still working to get back. But I feel like as a father and as a husband, you know, you're keeping that level of inspiration flowing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think that is the key, you know, to relationship, to love, to family, to life.
Yeah.
You know, and so now let's transition to legacy. You know, and so we had to start with family, You know, because family is what you build the legacy for.
Yeah.
You know, you build the legacy for the family. You know what I mean? You go through the struggles with the family. Then one day y'all rich and y'all, you know what I mean? It's all the family. It's all a part of each level, each phase. So I want to start because even though, you know, we are an official show now, you know what I'm saying? Shadowwork Sundays, Gratitude to Source, you know, but we going to still keep it real. And, you know, this is podcast, not podcast. And so we got to talk about the etymology. Yeah. So the etymology of legacy is person designated. Hold on, wait. Let me add a little more sauce to that. Person designated, entrusted with a task or responsibility to another person. So legacy is actually an honor. Yeah. A legacy is that there's other people around you. These people look at you and in such a high regard. Your passion, your greatness, whatever it is, this goal that I call it within you is such at a high level and vibrating so high and it's so, you know, expressive amongst these people. They look at you and say, that's the person right there. Yeah. You know, and so the legacy, a lot of people think the legacy is what they do on the time. Yeah. But the legacy is really the people that you have done it with and the support system and the people you do it for. The legacy is what inspires you, you know what I'm saying, to actually do what you're doing. And this is where I had a moment like you had with Amon where I'm disconnecting with the show and just looking at notes, and I was looking this word up and like, oh wow. Yeah. And I'm building a legacy. I you know, me and you relate in a lot of ways that we talk about it for years. So it's like, I'm like, wow, like this is an honor to build this legacy. So I wanted to start this area off with that. And so legacy is a very infinite word. Building a legacy can be inspiring as well as discouraging. It takes a lot of dedication, you see what I'm saying, to build a legacy. So with that being said, what keeps you committed to the legacy?
What keeps me committed to the legacy? I think one thing, I mean, it's, I don't ever really plan on throwing my dad under the bus, but I remember having that spark. Like in general, I want to take care of people. Like if you know me, if I got the money, if I got the house, if I got the, you know, clothes, like, you know what I'm saying, you can have it. But I remember I was talking to my dad on the phone one day, and I was like, "Yo, Dad, what you gonna leave us? You know, when you decide that you want to pass away, right? When you decide that you want to pass." And he was like, "Nothing." I was like, "Bro, what you mean?" He was like, "Nothing. I work hard for this." And I was just like in my head, it's like, "Yo, you have a valid point." I was like, "But a wise man leaves riches for his kids and his kids' kids." I was like, so for me, I love the fact of doing something, building something, and then, you know, throwing my son a oop so he can get in the NBA like Bronny. Like, yeah, I love it because it's like most of our family, like, I don't think most of them was thinking like that. Like, oh, let me do something. Let me make it easier in the sense of, oh, his school is paid for. His, you know, we don't know about IRAs. We don't know about. They weren't into stocks. They weren't into
building credit.
Yeah, like monitoring what they were, like we were watching. Really, we was outside with, you know, oh, make sure you're inside by the light coming on. Like there was structure, but there wasn't like some of the stuff wasn't as intentional as it could have been. Mm-hmm. And so for me, like, legacy has always been important because every time I think of my son and I think about what I went through, it's like, okay, well, if I save up $100,000 for you, I will never be the type of dad to say you have to spend it on whatever else. Mm-hmm. So if you decide that you want to get a Mercedes, you want to get a house, you want to go to college, you want to not go to college, like, do what you do. I said, but you'll never say that dad didn't start a legacy and try to hand it down to you to where you can succeed and make it easier on your son and make it easier on,
yeah, you know. Because the legacy is, now we understand this word to the fullness and the holistic aspect. Then you think about when you say legacy, that's like generational wealth. You know, that's and so when you think about it, like I said, that affects your children's life and then their children's life and there. And so in regard, it removes. So you handle the understanding part. You make sure they understand that they understand these certain things. So teaching them patience, teaching these different things. So breaking the generational curse aspect from the healing aspect of it. So my children are more emotionally intelligent and know how to handle themselves and maneuver through life. Okay, boom, more aware. Then also handling the legacy part of it, building the business, building just the wealth aspect, and like, okay, now my children don't have to struggle, work an everyday job. So you know what you're doing now? Opening the doorway, so now my children can actually do what they were born to do.
Yeah.
What is their purpose? They don't have to sit on a job and spend that time and still figure out, because we already doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's real, bro. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I need to have a button where everybody start clapping. You know what I'm saying? Because you feel me? And I'm gonna get it.
Yeah,
but you know, that was one of those moments, like real talk. And so, this is another question you might have to think about. But what do you see your legacy in 5 years? You know, something like we talking about generational wealth. We're talking about, you know, kids, and all that. But you know, for us to get to that point, we have to understand things. You know what I'm saying? In the micro aspect as well. And so the next 5 years, what do you see your legacy? What are your goals?
Man, free time. That free time. 5 years more free time. And free time to do what I may be busier, but free time to do the more rewarding things. Like instead of spending, 120, 180 hours, in a pay period, I can spend, maybe 30 in a pay period, because I keep my benefits while finessing the fact of being home and being able to homeschool my kids and, lead them, like just instill different things. Because like even the things that I say, I realize the things that I say to them, that's wealth. Like I can say, hey, look, if you go outside and stick your hand in an ant pile, you'll get superpowers. Like, bro, that's wealth to them. They're gonna apply that. They're gonna apply it and think that it's wealth. So like, I realized like in 5 years I want to be home. I want to be home a lot more and more hands-on in raising my kids. Because I don't want TV raising my kids, and if the TV is raising my kids, it is literally, I'm intentional about what they should watch. And like even when Amon wakes up in the morning and does like affirmations, like just you'll never ever be able to convince any of my kids that they're ugly. Like it's just something that I just instilled in them.
No, real talk.
So that's just like how my mom kind of did us. So
that's real.
But yeah, that's 5 years. Just more free time to be able to to get the stuff that me and Azalea have off the ground, and be able to get this music to be more residual, because I'm starting to get there now, but just being more active then, and hopefully be able to hoop with my son a little bit.
No, for sure. No, I can dig it, bro. So let's transition. I want to talk to the artist for a quick second. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking to the man, to the father, to the son, the husband, but I want to speak to the artist real quick. We's the satellite kid. You feel me? You picked up the pen and you started to relay these bars, in a surgical way, and still stand on the message. Since the beginning of the time when I met you, over 11 years ago, we connected through God, but also through music. And our passion and our love for bars. So I'm here today. You hear me? to ask
bars.
Hey, I mean, we can't have a cipher. You know what I'm saying? You know what's gonna happen.
I'm winning.
Come on. You weren't even confident. You know what I mean? You said, I think I'm gonna win. That's what I heard. But so what does the art excuse me. What does the art of expression through bars mean to you?
Oh man, it's like relationship. it's just now for me, music is connection. I have this bar in this song. I say I may be massive to the masses, but Daddy just hit more massively. Like you can see me however big you want to see me. I may get huge, but like no matter what goes on, like Daddy is just it hits home for me. Like it just like I'm talking from a place of like the typical father trying to make something happen and getting his business started or getting his business going. It's like regardless of all that busyness going on, like Dad is gonna always be like Dad and husband always gonna be number one for me. So, but yeah, I think that's I answered all of it.
No, for sure.
I think I answered all of it.
So we've spoken about legacy. We've spoken about family. And truthfully, in my notes, I had it set up to where God was first.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go with God right now.
Yeah.
and I think that's really deep. You know what I'm saying? And so I want to connect. This is a vulnerable aspect of it's always vulnerable information, but this is a more vulnerable aspect of the podcast. You know, of the show, of this episode. We're talking about this intimate connection. You know what I'm saying? And so my question is, do you ever have introspective conversations with God? You know, and if so, what type of conversations, and you know, how do they affect your life? You know what I'm saying?
That's a deep question. I do. I would say every morning, and if I go to work twice a day, twice a day for real. Especially when you know me and my wife are getting into it, I just ask for things to be revealed. Like, you know, I guess I shouldn't say that, but it's a lot of stuff that's going on with us as far as whether it's trauma, whether it's just I don't know, even just reactions, like, right? So like sometimes when my wife is speaking, or she's expressing herself, I'll like, yo, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to express it like that. But then sometimes it's like, yo, she probably needs to express it like that first, and I need to learn how to receive how she initially expresses it, because that teaches her to be comfortable. And so I just learned a lot about emotions and a lot about
you're talking to me right now.
Yeah.
Oh wait, say that again.
And just how to just maneuver, because kids teach the same exact thing. They just run with the wind, and you got to teach them like, yo, this is how it, especially somebody who really wasn't. I'm more so numb and suppressing things rather than just allowing things to feel. Allowing feelings to flow and just to feel and just to let it pass. Like, some dude came to me the other day and called himself checking me, and normally I'm passive, and I walked away. He said something, I walked away, and then maybe 15 minutes later, it hit, and I was like, I don't like that. went back and talked to him, and I was like, yo, I don't like people talking to me like that. I don't care that you did it in front of them. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, we can talk to each other with respect. And I was like, I don't feel like you did that, and I felt disrespected. I said, but I understand the fact that you felt disrespected by the things that I did. And so, but yeah, I always talk to God and hey, reveal stuff to me, how lead me a certain direction, because I feel like I'm completely right and justified by this feeling. So.
No, for sure. That make a lot of sense. You even gave examples, you know what I'm saying, of situations, you feel me? And I know you're very passive, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to especially confrontation, you know what I'm saying? You're not really trying to, you ain't on that type of time. So,
I like my job.
But guess what? You know what I'm saying? Word to K-Dot, sometimes you gotta pop out a shoulder. You know what I'm saying?
You feel me?
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about?
Man.
So, let's see where we want to go with this. So actually, you know what I'm saying, we'll speak about, because you talk about, you know, you are a very calm and mellow God, you know what I'm saying, and everything you're speaking about is love. So, you know, everybody say God is love. So my question to you is, what do you value the most, or what do you love the most in life? What is that one thing that just, you know what I'm saying, continues to keep you going? It's like this one thing that keeps me inspired and that I love so much, you know, yeah, I continue to be this great person and thrive, you know, for this. It could be family. It don't have to be anything like material, like, or even $1 million. It can be something you already have. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I would say I like seeing my family and the people around me happy and smiling. Like, that's always been my thing. And I've always been the one that people came to and asked it. You know, they asked advice and stuff like that. So, you know, I've been doing that forever, and it's just, you know, just seeing my middle child smile super big, because she feels so deeply. When she's sad, she's sad. When she's happy, oh my gosh, she's happy. And so just like learning like, yeah, I thrive. I thrive off of knowing that they got to go through a process to be balanced human beings, and that, you know, it's gonna require different effort. I have to give different efforts to each one in order for us to achieve balance. And so, it just inspires me. Like, just, okay, cool. Like, out of people running around feeling and moving with their feelings and doing all this stuff and have no balance, no structure, no discipline, it's like, okay, cool. If I teach you, then y'all three have a responsibility to teach others. And essentially, we can achieve some type of balance, or some type of create such an environment to actually, you know, cultivate that character of, or even achieve balance.
And so you're saying essentially that is in your world, that is the value of love, or God is there's that balance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, throughout life. So
because love looks different in different situations. Like, I tell my wife, I was like, yo, some days you want me to hug you. Other days I may not be able to hug you, and me loving you still is me distancing myself, because me distancing myself and not blowing up on you is what the situation needed before I can come back and hug you. So,
which is a form of balance as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So to close the God segment, and you know what I'm saying, this aspect of the show, I want to ask you just one last question, and I feel like we all have had these moments, but what is the most divine encounter, the divine moment that you've had with God, you know, that affected your life? You know what I'm saying? Maybe, you know, it changed you, or made you think about things different, brought a new perspective. You know what I'm saying? May even inspired a new passion.
Man, I mean, I guess it's a crazy story. I'm sure. I think I've told you before. Like, I've had one of my biggest things is, like, I've always heard God. I guess you can say whenever I was in middle school, I had a horrible temper. Like, even now, like, when I get there, I can get there, but I hardly get there. Like, just learning to balance and, you know, whatnot. But I remember being upset. And, you know, when you're a kid, you cussing your mom out because she talk crazy to you. And so I remember going through that motion, and I just heard a voice was like, yo, you gotta fix your attitude. And I'm looking around, and I'm like, yo, like what? He's like, yeah, you gotta fix your attitude. And so I just remember like my patience, me being not as angry and everything else, like just me being who I am, literally came from that moment in middle school. And so, like, I was living in that, and then, you know, I had my relationship with God, then kind of just started doing my own thing, and then I guess it was a situationship, And then God spoke in that situation. And
Yeah,
he
we
was
talked about
like,
that.
yeah, so it was like, he spoke, and then I was like I instantly, I felt like, I felt goosebumps. I was in the mirror, and I was like, it was just, my body was kind of cold, like it was just like a breeze over my body, and I just heard it. It's like, yo, you know you're wrong, right? Because I had no intentions on wifing her. I had no intentions on doing like anything, just getting what I wanted to get. And so I just remember like from that point, like those 2 points were just like literally my attitude and how I viewed things. Like
Because something like these moments created your moral compass.
Yeah, they
essentially, you know
pivot,
what I'm saying,
bro.
Created what you value, how you treat people, you know what I'm saying, what you view as wrong and right, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to your actions, the integrity aspect of a human being, you know what I'm saying.
I tell my wife to this day, like God spoke to me well before you caught my attention. So like certain things you don't have to worry about because I had that encounter.
You know, for sure. Man, at the end of the day, we all had those moments, you know what I'm saying? Gratitude to those moments and the lessons that we learned, you know what I mean? This is Shadow Work Sundays, the human side of God, which is all about those trials, those times, those hardest times where people talk down on you. You look like you lost and defeated, but you conquer that and you overcome and you become the greatest version of yourself. So gratitude to you, you know what I'm saying, for the gems, for the amazing, joyful opportunities that you have presented to, your family and your children to listen to in the future. 5-6 years from now, they can go back and listen to these gems and hear their father speak. You know what I'm saying? Gratitude to you giving gems to the married couples as you speak about being a husband and patience and things like that. And I want to inspire you to say, continue to keep going. You know what I'm saying? Continue to stay inspired. And that as a man, I don't think that men get the value that they should in certain areas, because of what we do carry. And it's not our job to be always screaming about what we battle and what we deal with. We just got to hold it. And so I would say, I appreciate the vulnerability in this conversation to be able to speak to other men out there. You feel me? Where can we stream your music and all that good stuff?
Man, Weez the Satellite Kid, WEEZ the Satellite, SATELITE, or LLITE. Weez the Satellite Kid, on everything.
The kid is with 2 I's, which is what he should be telling y'all. KIID, you know what I'm saying?
I noticed when that scatterbrain start kicking in.
Like, bro, you know what I'm saying?
Bro.
So, close this thing out, man. What's your favorite 90s TV show?
My favorite, bro, so I got 2. Dragon Ball Z and the April. Remember, I think I told you April 19th, 1989, and Rugrats.
And Rugrats.
All
right. Man, look, Rocket Power and Hey Arnold on my side. Y'all drop it in the comments. What's your favorite 90s TV show? And I'll catch y'all on the next episode of Shadow Work Sundays. Big energy. Continue to be yourself. Don't fake for nobody. You dig?
I knew you was going to say you dig after.
I got to, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm an old soul, bro.